Just before crossing the Tanzanian border to Kenya, we stopped to camp on the slopes of the famous Mount Kilimanjaro. Simba Farm Lodge is a working farm with a great atmosphere, and we loved sampling the fresh farm produce and exploring the lower slopes of the highest mountain in Africa. Shortly after stamping into Kenya, we celebrated appropriately with a tusker for us and a proud new badge for Baloo. In the morning, we headed for real tusker country, where else but the renowned Amboseli National Park.
Amboseli is a place that most people have seen photos of somewhere, even though the park name might sound unfamiliar to them. Being on the border with Tanzania, the park offers the most classic views of Mount Kilimanjaro, complete with elephants in the foreground. It was also not long before we encountered a beautiful herd. As with most East African parks, the main road turned out to be a washboard highway. However, the fun started once we got off it, with an incredibly scenic and compact reserve awaiting us. Pot-bellied lions basked on open plains while Ellies and Maasai giraffe journeyed in the background, all in one classic frame. Lush wetlands around the park provide food for many species, including hippos and large flocks of grey ground cranes.
The park's landscape is very diverse and also includes some arid sections, where we saw these bat-eared foxes, usually something seen in the Kalahari regions further south. The elephants of Amboseli are legendary. Not only are some of the last remaining large tuskers in Africa found here, it is one of the most significant places where elephant research is done in Africa, and also where famous researcher Joyce Poole did her groundbreaking studies on the savanna elephant. We even saw some rare critters like a serval and this civet foraging for an unlucky rodent.
The park has vast soda lakes that attract large flocks of both greater and lesser flamingo. As always, they prove to be very photogenic, with some even scoring high in the water ballet event.
The lakes attract many species, all enjoying the shallows, birds and hyenas alike. We were also just in time to see the local pelicans' synchronized swimming team in action.
Elephants of all ages seem to particularly enjoy wading through the marshes, some eating, some bathing, and some showering us with mud.
Towards the end of the day, the ever-present clouds lifted to briefly reveal the mountain in all her splendor. It was difficult not to put on Toto's Africa while driving around the spectacular part of the world. One for the books indeed.
During our visit to the park, we camped at Amboseli Eco Camp. The campsite is clean with running water and a cozy little restaurant. It is located a few kilometers outside the park and one of very few camping options. Our highlights included the fantastic views of Kilimanjaro and its close proximity to the park and border crossing. Amboseli will indeed provide ample photo opportunities and enable you to tick a few major items off your bucket list. But perhaps it is rather the moments in between the photos and a deepened appreciation and care for the creation that give true magic to awesome Amboseli.
Here are some trip tips for Amboseli National Park. For more information, follow the blog link in the description below. Join us next time as we explore the forests of Mount Kenya.